Today we're diving into the insane chaos of Dungeon Crawl Classics and how it compares to the more refined experience of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Hey there, adventurers. Welcome back to Short Rest Studios. My name is Judd, and today we're going to look at Dungeon Crawl Classics, an OSR RPG that's full of incredibly deadly dungeons, unpredictable magic, and pulpy fantasy action. We're going to look at how it compares to 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons with its streamlined gameplay, deep customization, and heroic adventure. So today I've got 3 reasons that DCC is more fun than 5th edition, and 3 reasons it's not. Let's dig in. The first reason that Dungeon Crawl Classics is more fun than Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is the character funnel. Now, this is something that DCC is famous for. You start out a game, start out a campaign by rolling up some characters. That's right, I said some characters, not one, some. Every player starts with several 0-level characters. You start at level 0, not level 1, level 0. There's a 0-level adventure in the quick start rules for DCC that is designed for 15 to 20 characters. And the book states that the author actually has played it with up to 28. So these hapless souls, farmers and plumbers and chandlers by trade, make their way into this deadly dungeon, and they're culled one by one, or, maybe sometimes in droves. You're basically sending peasants to their doom. Most of them are going to die horrible deaths, but the ones that are left, the ones that survive, those are your player characters. It's this wildly chaotic funnel where only the strongest emerge alive and become the characters that you play throughout a campaign, hopefully, if they don't, die later. There's a few things that this does for gameplay. It makes you really cherish those PCs because they overcame some insane odds. It creates a lot of group bonding among your party. And of course, it really sets this gonzo deadly tone for the whole game. And 5e has nothing like this at all. Reason number 2 that DCC is more fun than 5th edition. The constant threat of gruesome death leads to some pretty crazy action. In combat and dungeon exploration, players are going to try some crazy stuff because they know they're probably going to die anyway, or maybe they're just going to take every risk to possibly keep from dying when death looks imminent. Because of that constant threat of death, players are going to try some crazy stuff like leaping onto chandeliers and trying to kick a monster into a spiky pit. Even though they don't have much chance of accomplishing that act, they might die otherwise, so they may as well go out swinging. So the swingy action, the constant threat of misfires and fumbles, and those brutal criticals really leads to an unpredictable pulp sensibility and some gonzo action. And of course 5e, with its more balanced math, because DCC doesn't care about your balance, and its death save mechanics really leads to a more cautious and technical kind of combat than Dungeon Crawl Classics. I mean, DCC's philosophy is kind of like what Gandhi said. An eye for an eye will make the whole world blind or dead. Either way works.
He never said that.
Reason number 3 DCC is more fun than 5e. The magic in Dungeon Crawl Classics is astonishingly chaotic. DCC has specific spell checks, so every time you cast a spell, there's always the possibility of amazing success or catastrophic failure. There are all these crazy tables with weird spell effects that really keep spellcasters guessing and make spells more fun and exciting to resolve. I mean, think about it. Your wizard could one moment hurl a torrent of flames on your enemies, and then the next moment he turns himself invisible and forgets how to turn back. Or maybe a spell misfires and he accidentally turns the BBEG into a giant chicken who then leads a chicken revolt. Basically, as a wizard in DCC, you should expect to spontaneously combust at least twice per session. Keeps everybody on their toes. With 5th edition, magic mostly has predictable effects, which makes it safer and honestly takes away a bit of the wonder that you would hope for in dealing with magic. But DCC's magic system really captures this old school vibe of unpredictable magic that can shock and delight. Hey, if you learned something, if you're having fun watching this video, whatever, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It helps the video get out to more people, and it lets me know that you like what I'm doing, and so I can know to do more of it. And if you're a fan of Dungeon Crawl Classics, let me know in the comments. If you're not a fan, let me know in the comments. If you think 5e is way better, let me know in the comments. I just want to hear from you. Now let's get back into it. So we've talked about some reasons why DCC can be more fun than D&D 5th edition, but 5e definitely shines in some ways above the competition. Here are 3 reasons that DCC is maybe a little more flawed than 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. First, DCC's rules are really complex. 5th edition is kind of known for its streamlined, refined gameplay. Now, if you haven't really played a lot of any of these kind of games, or if Dungeons & Dragons is really your only experience, you might think there's a freaking lot of rules in there, and there are, but it's just this type of game. It's gonna have a lot of rules. But Dungeons & Dragons, they have really over the years refined the rule set and made it pretty streamlined. I mean, combat, things like that are pretty straightforward. I mean, DCC uses modifier charts, ascending armor class, those famously funky dice like D14s. What the heck is that, man? How does that even happen? There are threat ranges, rules like spell burn. All this stuff is foreign to Dungeons & Dragons. DCC's got these subsystems like luck, mercurial, it's a hard word to say, mercurial magic. It's got mighty deeds, all these things that just add more complexity to the rules. But 5e really simplifies things. You've got advantage, proficiency bonus, and bounded accuracy. This really makes D&D 5e a lot easier for newcomers to role-playing games to pick up. But there are definitely players who really get into that increased complexity that DCC offers. The second reason that DCC is not as much fun as D&D 5e is D&D has really deep character customization. Now, DCC has those iconic classes like wizard, warrior, cleric, but there's not a lot of room for customization, not the way that there is in D&D 5e. In DCC, it's not really a thing to have a customized or unique character build, and you can't mix and match abilities, things like that. But 5e offers archetypes, multi-classing, feats, and a lot of progression tools that really allow you to tailor your PC to whatever you want. There are deeper races and backgrounds and spells. I mean, races in DCC really boil down to humans, halflings, dwarves, and elves. And essentially 3 of those races are also classes. So if you're a human, you can pick different classes like warrior, wizard, cleric. But if you're a halfling, you're a halfling. And halflings do what halflings do. I guess halflings don't have jobs. And that kind of makes sense, actually. This is where 5e really does get complex, but it offers you the opportunity to really create a truly personal hero. But instead, DCC just offers a straightforward, old school vibe. You can see that limitation as a challenge that you can step up to the plate and try to play a unique character in this world where survival is not guaranteed. But the customization does make D&D a lot more fun for a lot of people, and I personally love that. So the third and final reason that DCC is maybe not as much fun as 5e, progression is really slow comparatively in Dungeon Crawl Classics. I mean, one of the first things that I noticed about Dungeon Crawl Classics when I started reading through the rules was that all the numbers are way lower than the numbers in 5e. And that's part of the old school thing. I mean, you begin with 4 hit points. 4 hit points. 4. It takes fewer experience points, way fewer experience points to level up in DCC than 5e. However, it's a lot harder to get there. Your characters stay a lot more fragile for a lot more of the game. It's possible that after a whole lot of sessions, you might only progress from level 0 to level 5 in Dungeon Crawl Classics. And we all know with 5e, you go through a campaign and eventually your characters are going to be basically superheroes.
I am invincible!
And some people really appreciate the depth that this slow progress gives to character growth. But a lot of people, probably especially those who are used to 5e's smooth XP curve, can find the low power level of DCC characters really frustrating. And that's completely understandable. I mean, who doesn't love to level up? So what's the final verdict on this whole comparison thing? Well, I'd really recommend DCC to groups who really want to go for the chaos and danger of that old school RPG experience, where 5e is ideal for groups that really want that accessibility and the heroism, the super heroics of D&D 5e. In the end, I think they're both great games. It just really comes down to the play style of your players. All right, adventurers, that wraps up my comparison of these two great fantasy role-playing games. Let me know which one you prefer down in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like this video if you got something out of it. It really helps me out, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with what we're doing. Speaking of what we're doing, you can get one of these Crit Outta Luck shirts on my shop. Check for a link in the description. And if you're excited about the newest D&D book, Phandelver and Below, The Shattered Obelisk, check out this video, and I will see you next time on Short Rest Studios.